Hello all and welcome to the 4th edition of the Squirtle Squadcast. I am Scott, otherwise known as XPL, and graciously joined with me today is...
Hello, I'm Nick, aka Majorasfan, co-host of the Squirtle Squadcast.
Will, also known as Will on the forums.
Marissa, also known as marissachu.
I am Jasem, also known as Tanners14.
What's up, everybody? It's Zachgoose.
And our special guest for this week...
Hey, I'm Garth, also known as Garthcune on the forums.
Well, yeah, we've got a great cast with us today, as usual. And we have a few interesting topics to talk about. First of all, for those who are unaware, the new Zelda for the Wii U has been delayed recently. I know that we have a few interesting and strong opinions about that in the group. What do we all think about the delays? I know personally, when it comes to Smash, Smash Brawl, Brawl and Smash 4 were both delayed, but we got really good games because of that. They weren't half-baked, they turned out really well. But there are problems with this one being delayed for a few things. Who wants to jump in and talk about that first off?
Well, just, I'm not extremely invested in Zelda U. I don't have a Wii U, and I'm not, like, a big Zelda fanatic. I love Zelda, but I'm not good at the games, and so I don't play them as much. But basically, I think I sort of am down the same path that you are, where I feel, I think there are advantages to not rushing a product out. It seems like a lot of games nowadays are just sort of, they have an idea and they do it and then it just comes out and then they patch it 18 times and they're like, oh yeah, it was a finished product when we released it. And even though it was barely in beta, if they feel like they need to, I think that's okay. But at the same time, delays suck.
Yeah. I know people are pretty, when they hop on a game, and if it doesn't turn out good from the get-go, then that usually buries the game. It doesn't always, but it doesn't go too well. Let's theorize that a month from now, heavy patches make The Order 1886 an amazing game. I don't think anyone would take that seriously, though, anymore, because right now, the public opinion is The Order 1886 is a horrible game. So, and that's because it came out and went too hot.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a game that was super overhyped and advertised, and then it released and it was really bad, is what I've heard.
Duke Nukem?
Something like that, only not to that extent. Not
14
that extent.
years.
That's the extreme extent. Yeah, that's the decade version.
Well, you also got to consider the fact that Nintendo also hasn't released patches for games like other companies like Sony and Microsoft, and even the Steam platform. We've just started seeing that, with the 3DS and even the Wii U. Before that, we just didn't have any patches, so I wouldn't put it past them to delay it for a year just to make sure that the first release is their last release of the game, that they don't have to touch it after that.
Yeah, I wouldn't deny that. That definitely has fit their past history.
I think it's good that Nintendo's delaying their games because, Watch Dogs was a good example of this. It was a super hyped game, and then it ended up, sucking on release and having, tons of issues that made it unplayable. And apparently they fixed it recently, but it's still not really a good game, and everyone just considers it a bad Grand Theft Auto 5 at this point. So I'm all for delaying games as long as you can, because in the Brawl days, back on Super Smash Brothers, Brawl was the game to play. I'd always think well, man, they should have waited another year to release this game and added 10 more characters. It would have been awesome. So
yeah, I even remember last time when we were talking about Starbound, it was the same sort of thing, right? They rushed and released it and it didn't turn out so hot. And even if they're working on it now, the hype's sort of been fizzled away. But I usually do agree with that. But there's another thing that's sort of questionable, is that the Wii U doesn't have a whole lot of library of games yet, really. It has Smash 4, it has a few other things. It has Mario Kart, the new one. Mario Party 10 just released.
Captain Toad.
Yeah, Captain Toad.
That hype Donkey Kong game.
Oh, there's a DK game on it now?
It's the ice game.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tropical Freeze.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong with more dongs. No,
It's like chill Donkey Kong, Yeti Kong.
No, that hype one we saw at AGDQ with the
oh
speed running.
yes, Tropical
It's Tropical Freeze.
Is it?
Yeah, that one.
I was just watching. It's like, this is so cool, man. And Pikmin 3 still not as good as Pikmin 2. Just putting that one in there.
Yeah, there are a few games on the Wii U, but like none that are like huge hitters. I mean, like,
Besides Smash.
yeah, Smash was the big one, and I know since it's on the 3DS, like I know I don't plan to get a Wii U anytime soon because I have Smash on the 3DS, and obviously it's a better experience on the Wii U, but the Wii U is also pretty expensive, so I don't want to drop the cash for Smash.
Yeah, I have a comment for that, actually. They've said that they've only made about 6 million sales in console units, and they have to hit 36 million before they even break even with development costs. So I would say for sure it's going to be a loss for Nintendo, no matter how far down the road it gets. In 5 years, it's still going to be a huge loss to them.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It just, it kind of harkens back to the GameCube, really. I mean, the Wii U was great for appealing to the casual gamers, but just a few things with the Wii U making it seem very similar to the Wii. The casuals who don't know much about it don't really know the difference, and the people who do know, there aren't enough good games for us to care about it yet too much, so it's just a huge problem here. And just like back with the PS2, now the PS Quad is picking up steam once again, and with its certain exclusives like Bloodborne, I know it's getting some even stronger pulls. Some of my friends up here at college actually just went in and bought PS4s, 3 of them actually, just to get Bloodborne. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's a great game.
I mean, I can understand it's a good game, but I don't have the money for that. But PS Quad Race, I guess. I mean,
I think as someone who is very much... I've been playing Zelda pretty much as long as I can remember since the original one. I think that as someone who has played it for a long time, it's good to delay it because I want it to be as perfect as possible. Because I've every time I've played a Zelda game from the start, they've always been perfect as far as performance goes, and they've all been really wonderful experiences without any real problems that I can think of dating back to the original till Skyward Sword. But for me, as someone who does own a Wii U, it is worrisome because they don't have anything on the docket that they can really promote for 2015 except maybe Yarn Yoshi.
Oh, I want that game, though. I want it.
But I mean, it's like a general thing that's not like a strong knock them out of the park game. But I mean, they've said Star Fox U, but we haven't seen anything on that game at all.
Yeah.
Realistically, though, you should wait for E3 before considering if they have no future projects, though.
Yeah, but the thing is that they're really cutting their hype by not having them like on the radar already. Like,
I was just gonna say, whenever Nintendo in particular tends to announce things at E3, it's always like fourth quarter that year or first quarter next year. It's rare that you get, like, if you think about the things that Nintendo had at E3 last year, like, is Captain Toad released? Like, I feel like that's the only thing that's actually out yet from that group of games.
Pretty sure Bayonetta's out.
Oh, right. Bayonetta. Okay. That's fair.
Is Splatoon out?
I don't think
everybody's favorite Squid game? Okay.
It's still not out. The Yoshi one's not out. I don't know. It's just, like, unless they're like, oh, surprise, we have something for summer, it's still going to be a long time. It's not.
And unless they have a Mario game ready to go for December, which
there is a Mario
I know,
game.
but not. I mean, like one that people care about.
Like an interesting one. No,
but I guess the only thing they could do really, and this is probably my pipe dream, but it would be to announce a new Metroid game.
Yes.
I think.
What direction would you take it?
Continue the
direction away
series.
from the other M. That's where.
Yeah.
Fair. No, it's probably. it'd probably be a Prime game because
Yeah.
because the Wii U controller would be
If they went back to Prime style,
pretty
I'd
good
be
for that.
pretty
Yeah.
sold on that.
I don't know. I just think for me, like I said, I love Zelda. I want it to be as perfect as possible, so I don't mind the delay per se for that reason. But just it's like really like it feels like another year is gonna go by without anything really, incredible to play on it. But like Jasem said, E3 could turn that around, but I just don't see it. Really.
Yeah, but I'm not too upset about the Zelda U, but my opinion different since I don't own a Wii U. But when the Nintendo 64 Zelda games were released, they were both delayed, and they turned out to be fantastic games. But at the same time, Nintendo 64 already had a bunch of games out, so it wasn't as big of a deal. So, but I would rather wait for a higher quality game and then to just get a flat out Blad release.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, the N64 already had a strong base and the Wii U doesn't, but I mean, at this point, if Nintendo just tries to, pop out games to support the Wii U and they're not good games, then that'll just hurt them really bad in the long run, even more so. So, I mean, it's just getting kind of iffy.
I'm trying to think, when Brawl was released, was there any other good Wii games out when they delayed it for
Galaxy.
6 months?
Twilight Princess was a release title.
Yeah, but that was a GameCube
Beast.
game as well.
It was. I got
Wasn't
it.
Galaxy out?
Yeah, it was.
Galaxy was out, yeah.
I think you
I
guys
see.
are forgetting the most important game, Wii Sports.
Mario Kart? When did Mario Kart come out? Was that a Wii title or was that N64 GameCube era?
So
There was
Wii
a
It came
title.
out after Brawl, Mario Kart.
I'll work you up, Mario. Wii Sports Tennis. I'm just saying.
The only good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bowling? What is wrong with you?
Come on, you could get a perfect game by you had to go all the way to the gutter. You had to zoom in, change it to angler mode.
No,
three
the thing
clicks to
about-
the left.
The thing about Wii Sports Bowling is that if you throw the ball in the air, then it goes straight every time. So if you just release really late and it goes whoop, bump, it doesn't curve.
All right, let's be honest here. The best Wii Sports game was golf.
I also like golf.
Golf was funny.
Screw
Boxing
golf.
was
Fun.
silly the first time I played it, and then I never played it again.
Same.
But I really like beating up
Silly.
Mii's, because I could Mii's of people I didn't like, or characters I didn't like, and just beat them up. It was really satisfying.
Did you have a Joe Luscombe?
Yes.
Did you have
Shout
a
out to
doctor on me?
Jonas.
Yeah, I should have made a Shinji me and just beat him up, but I think that's
Did you
before
have
I
an
knew what
Ian
Ava
me?
was.
Did you have an Iams me?
I had to have, I guess, but I don't. I think that might have been after I boxed, because
It's after you retired from your insane boxing career where you beat up Joe Lusk.
yeah, it's
That's
after I
insane.
retired with the belt.
I kind of imagine Nick with an Apollo Creed me and a Clubber Lang me and a Dolph Lundgren me or Ivan Drago, and just sort of cosplaying the Rocky Saga.
I
On-
did
on
have
Wii
an
boxing.
Apollo Creed me, and it
Yes!
was very fun to fight. But that was fun. Yeah. Well, speaking of Nintendo's financial fixes, there's been another recent announcement that has caused some concern. Nintendo's recently sold their mobile rights to their rights to Mario, or at least for a game, to a mobile company. It's DENA. The company is they're basically lending the rights to Mario for them to make a smartphone game for, which is interesting because Nintendo's been very protective over their copyrights since the CDI happened. So
Understandably.
yeah, so I know this won't be like that. However, the fear is that this company is really well known for making pay-to-win games with heavy microtransactions. So, will this cause $10 to be 100 coins, or what's going to happen? I wonder. And I'm not sure. What do you guys think about that and these things with the mobile microtransactions for our Mario characters?
I'm just confused. Why couldn't Mario make the mobile game? Not Mario, Nintendo. Why couldn't Nintendo make the mobile game themselves?
Probably, yeah, that's a good question.
Well, they don't really specialize on mobile development. They're used to making games for their own hardware, which, like, they don't know how to code on other computer platforms besides the computers that they design, really.
Couldn't they just like hire a couple people? It couldn't take that many people to develop one mobile game, or like a couple.
They could. I mean, but they would probably want to. The reason they're bringing DNA on is because they're not only a mobile platform, but they're also a marketing company. So if you want to release games and you want to have like a successful foot in the door in the mobile industry, which is Nintendo said in the past that they were so scared that, oh my gosh, in the future there are going to be no handheld consoles. Then you definitely want to get involved with a mobile company. Like, you want to invest, and that's what we saw. We saw DNA purchased 1% of Nintendo, and Nintendo purchased a percentage of DNA, and it's a joint IP partnership.
Yeah. Yep, I remember seeing that, and I mean, it's an interesting choice. A lot of people are not like happy with that because, like, while the mobile market is definitely shifted towards like the Apple Store and the Android Play Store, Google Play Store stuff, that's definitely where the market is now, and it's definitely pretty lucrative if we're going to see our Mario characters and got a Pokemon game or something, official Pokemon something on the store. Oh my gosh, that would sell like hotcakes, I'm sure. But
Yeah, all you really need to do for advertising is just like put Mario's face or Pikachu's face on it, then it's good. People will buy it.
Well, and there have always been like weird pirated, like sketchy, fake versions of Mario games on mobile devices and on browsers and stuff like that, where it's been like play like Super like Mario like on the like you're on your iPhone and it's just some fake version of Mario. So if there's already going to be these ways where people are playing these things, might as well make money off of it. Like, you might as well make something official.
Yeah.
Flappy Mario.
People platforming games like that.
I mean, like, with the Mario franchise and just Nintendo things in general, I guess the fear is, like, since Nintendo's resisted microtransactions for so long, I mean, what happens?
But we have Pokemon Shuffle, which you can buy gems in by using your money from the Nintendo store. Like, they already have something like that. They've done that now. Pokemon Shuffle is free to play, and you can, if you get really bored, you can say, oh, I'd like to buy 6 gems, which can help me buy some more hearts to, like, play for longer. Like, that's a thing
exactly
that they've done.
How Love Live School Idol Festival works. Like,
That's not
down
good,
to the
right?
terminology.
On Pokemon Shuffle, I think that's one of the games we'll see on smartphones or iPhones eventually. I think Nintendo's testing out things like that. That's why they made Pokemon Shuffle, in my opinion, is to not only because Pokemon sells like billions of copies, but because they want to test things like this for the open market on smartphones. And Pokemon Shuffle, if I remember correctly, is doing like phenomenal in terms of
it's doing
how much money it's making. So I think the people that are worried like, oh, they're gonna make full games for smartphone is kind of ridiculous. I think they're just gonna make things like Pokemon Shuffle with like Mario and Link and all that that'll just sell millions of copies for really cheap. So
I think that's normal.
I think they said extensively that they're not going to do ports. Like, they did not want to do ports at all.
Well, then I guess they won't. That's probably... I can understand why they wouldn't, especially since the Virtual Console exists and all that stuff, so... but I don't know. Is that a problem for Nintendo? Do you think that'll lower their reputation if they follow the pack and also do microtransactions? Or do you think this is the kind of money infusion that they need?
Well, I think they got to start somewhere, and if that's where the market's going and that's where sales are, then yeah. I mean, I'd eventually like to see a day when Nintendo games sell for $5 a pop instead of $30 or $60. I mean, that's certainly where the market's going in terms of video games. For microtransactions, we've seen in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon was one of the first 3DS games to start doing microtransactions when they have purchasable levels.
You're right. Yeah, and Fire Emblem actually also has purchasable levels.
That's the one good thing about Nintendo, though, is like you've seen with the new Mario Kart. Like the DLC for their games are always really worthwhile. Like Mewtwo for Smash Brothers is going to be one that's going to be really worthwhile. The DLC for Mario Kart, as I said earlier, was really good. Like you get to play Link. That's crazy.
When does Mewtwo release, by the way?
That I don't know.
I thought that was soon. It's soon. Oh, it's not soon? Is it?
I think it's soon, but we don't have an exact date.
2015 release, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
definitely
not very
2015.
Q1.
According to Sakurai on March 19th, he said that Mewtwo's development was pretty much done and it would be released pretty soon. So, cool.
Soon TM.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the correct
basically.
answer. Well, we'll see, I guess. Well, anywho, yeah, I mean, I agree. The market's going in this direction. They can't live in the past, and catching up is where they need to go. And I mean, I don't want to see Nintendo falter. It's one of my it's where I grew up on video game wise. I mean, I've become more open since then. I remember when I was like younger, I was a huge Nintendo fanboy. I hated like any other consoles. I wouldn't get them. I'd only focus on Nintendo because I hated how they were like suffering because GameCube era. But now I've sort of sold out, I guess, and I bought a PS3 instead of like waiting for a Wii U or anything like that. But I guess that's also because my interests have extended, and I mean, whatnot. But I do want Nintendo to do well, and since the Wii U's sort of faltering, they need, like you said, Garth, they need to start somewhere, and this is where the market is. So.
Okay. I think my like this is my dream. I don't think that it'll happen, but ideally, I wish that Nintendo would say, hey, like, we realize there's a bunch of casual gamers, maybe younger or older, like, people that aren't fixed on doing something difficult or challenging, and that they would target that market separately instead of ruining my games so that they can, like, give me Babby mode when I don't want Babby mode. I want my old cool Nintendo games, and like give those people that want Babby mode mobile games, and just keep them away. I don't want it, but I don't think that'll happen. But that would, if anything, that would make it so incredibly worth it. Like, I don't have to buy these mobile games if I don't want them, but if something is in a franchise that I love, then I'm gonna buy it, and I want it to be good. So I don't know. It's just sort of my thought.
Yeah, that's the problem with most modern games today, really, is that I just run into them, and, like, especially Nintendo ones, they've just gotten easier. And then, like, hard games are kind of hard to come by. Pun. Like, that, I think that's one reason why people are so excited for Bloodborne, too, because it's one of those masochistically difficult games. And it's, like, harkens back to the old era of games when, like, you actually had to struggle to beat a game single player. It's not just multiplayer where you have a hard time. You don't just cut through the single player mode and say, oh, that was fun, let's go on now. It's actually kind of a struggle. You don't really see that in a whole lot of games anymore either, so yeah, I'd like to more appeal to a hardcore audience, but Nintendo's not in that position at the moment, so we'll see where they go, I guess.
Yeah.
It's weird because the casual audience is as big as it's been forever, that everyone who isn't really into gaming or that video game culture is now aware of it, especially with the news controversies surrounding you-know-what, and people, should be buying these easier Babby mode games, and obviously with Nintendo, with their reputation as being the main kind of casual audience suppliers, should be profiting from it, but they're not, which is weird, really. It's really weird.
Yeah, it is strange, because, like, back in the day, people were somewhat aware of games, but they didn't care. Now people are aware of games more, and, like, stuff like the Wii targeted them, but again, it's the casual audience is moving, I guess, towards the easier option, the mobile phones. I mean, you don't have to buy a console to do that. You don't have to buy a game system. You can just use your phone and hop on. I mean, I could hop on my phone right now and pull up my random games from the Japanese App Store.
Yeah, that's the scary thing about this right now. So how easy all these games are so accessible to now. Like, you don't have to buy the console since everybody and their mothers has a smartphone now. It's weird to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Like, everyone has something like this now, and that's why I think Nintendo's idea, it'll be lucrative, because now all these people can get a Nintendo game. They have the access to it.
Well, and also, I mean, even furthermore, not only everyone and their mother, everyone and their, like, 3-year-old child, it seems.
Yeah.
All of the small children that I know nowadays have access to some sort of either Apple or other tablet device. And so when you go and you see an for the Wii U on TV and you say, oh, look, it's a happy family. That family doesn't need to, family isn't probably going to be spending any time together because that's not cool anymore or something. But also, the kids probably both have iPads. Like, why would the parents pay another several $100s for a whole nother console for their children when they can buy them like $102 apps from the App Store? Like, it's just Nintendo is now missing out on this market, so I see why they would want to potentially move to mobile.
Exactly.
Yeah, all of the younger children would just play them. That's a really good point.
There's 2 points really. I mean, I wouldn't mind if all like the younger children's awareness of video games was extended behind like $2 Candy Crush and a couple like gems to buy. Really baseless, no depth, no kind of interaction, just really time waster games. Instead, your parents bought bought an extra like $2 or $3 more, bought like Final Fantasy IV or that kind of game. One of these big like PlayStation era port games on the mobile phone, which were interesting, complex, unique, and all that kind of stuff. But instead of just like Flappy Birds, it's just there is no substance to it. But instead a game which is actually got depth to it, that would be cool. But instead, no, we've got microtransactions in Kim Kardashian's dumb, stupid game.
Yeah.
Top 5 most generating revenue game of all time. Oh my god, who cares?
Did you guys see that? I think it was Kanye where it was this interview with him where he was talking about how he wanted to make a mobile game and it was about like getting his mom into heaven or something. It was really weird.
What?
Is this the sequel to Kanye Quest?
Yes!
I would buy that like immediately. Kanye Quest. Well, I mean, this is exactly the sort of thing we need to market to our kids that are playing on the iPads, I mean, I want to get Kanye's mom to heaven.
The direction of gaming has changed over the years. It's funny because they now consider the average gamer to be a 40-year-old woman. Of course, when they mean gamer, they're talking about someone who's like playing Bejeweled and Words of Thrones or whatever. But still, it's interesting to think that. So, and it's good to see Nintendo at least trying to get into that market. One interesting thing is that Miyamoto said that he didn't like the free-to-play model because he felt that it was unfair and sort of cheating the consumers, since he felt like free-to-play is actually more like free-to-try, almost like it's a demo.
Yeah,
and you are being deprived of the full experience unless you pay money.
I agree with that. I mean, that's definitely what it feels like. Because, I mean, you can get into it. That's what those sort of games are, like what Clash of Clans and whatnot, right? You get them, and it's like, oh, I can play this, I can build this, and then you have to wait for a while. It's like, I don't want to wait, I want to build this now, and you have to pay money to do that, or you have to pay money to do this, and once you play it for a few weeks, you can't really do anything unless you just wait for a while. So you can either be like me, who has a few Clash of Clans ripoffs from anime games, and I just play them like once every 3 days as I build something and then wait for a week. Or you can like pay a lot of money. And, I mean, it's tempting to drop the money.
Man, I remember in my school when we had Clash of Clans was big, we were like, oh my god, John, you actually spent £12 to buy an extra 500 gems, you nerd. It's like, dude, I need my 4th builder house. And I was like, wow, this is what it's come to.
Yeah, I have 3 of them, and that none of them are the original. One of them is Star Wars Commander. It was the most recent one, and I got it only because you could pick the Empire or the Rebellion, and I'm a huge fan of the Empire, so I was like, let's make it build a lot of AT&Ts, AT-ATs, and wreck the Rebels, and it was beautiful. And I don't play that one a whole lot anymore, because it really slowed down and they unupdate it. Then there's the one they really don't update, the Neon Genesis Evangelion one, which, like, all I'm doing there is putting every single one of my resources into upgrading Asuka's mech. Every single one. Like, she's so good. She can one-shot angels now. And then there's the final one. There's an Attack on Titan one, which actually has an English version on the Japanese App Store. It's really curious. But I've also done everything on there as well. Like, my Mikasa is, like, level 40 or something stupid, and I can one-shot most Titans as well. So I just literally click it when I'm bored while I'm waiting for things to do. But I guess that's what those kind of games are for, right? So
I would want to say, on the topic of, like, microtransactions and mobile games, I would want to say that, unfortunately, like Scott said, with the lack of depth of these games, unfortunately, Nintendo is going to start out with that, at least for the first 2 or 3 years, because they said in press releases, we don't want to release full titles, we don't want to release ports, we just want this to be completely a marketing tactic to draw in consumers. Like, they don't want to abandon their consoles. They want to use the mobile platform to bring users to their consoles. And so we've even already seen that starting back in with the release of the 3DS back in 2010. They had the Pokédex 3D app, and they gave that away for free on the iPhone.
yeah.
So
I think the just my one fear about that, like, using it in that particular way is that, you know, if you draw people in with these very casual, very pay-to-win sorts of games, and then they're like, oh, like, I like this, maybe I'm gonna buy, like maybe I am gonna take the next step and, like, buy a Wii U. What do you do then when now you have this flood of really, really casual gamers who are interested in this product that you're making? Like, now, like, if anything, then you're gonna have to dumb down your products even more to suit those people, or expect them to change, which is not really the model right now. It's very much just like, let's make this super duper, like, simple or easy so that everybody will like it, which I don't know. It's that does make me a little bit apprehensive, but we'll obviously have to see.
I was just checking what the top grossing app is on the App Store in Japan. Love Live School Idol Festival is number 16. Crap.
That's interesting.
How much have you contributed, Nick?
Let's see. On the English version, because I don't have the Japanese version, because why would I have both? I have put in... Alright. This number isn't fully accurate because I got, like, some iTunes gift cards, and I've dumped them straight into the game. So, like, actual money I've spent, probably more like $10. With gift cards, more like $55.
wow.
Yeah, because, like, I went to Tsubasacon, the local con I have here, and I won a anime Name That Tune, and the prize was 3 iTunes gift cards, and both of my, because it was a team of 3 I was on, and both of my friends gave me their gift cards, so I just was like, here we go, love gems, and I bought, like, all the stuff on School Idol Festival.
Alright, I have to ask, which tune did you have to name?
There were a lot. Like, it was a full-on Jeopardy choice thing, so we picked a lot. I did, like, I got some really clutch answers that were kind of unknown, like Golden Time, which aired a few seasons ago. I recognized that and got it for the 500 points category. I got Gunbuster. I got some old ones. Then I got some popular ones. And then there were some I didn't get, but some of my friends backed me up because they're better on certain things than I am. So.
Oh, that's impressive that you won.
Yeah, I was impressed too by myself, but it worked out. 'Cause there was, like, my friend who's big on, like, he knows a lot of shows from, like, 2000 to, like, 2009. And then there's me, who's really good at newest stuff and some older things, but not very much. And then my other friend who's good at stuff from, like, 2000 to, like, current, but she watches more, like, girl stuff, shoujo stuff, rather than me, who watches more drama straight up. So
Boy stuff.
yeah, basically.
Like Love Live.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's the one that kind of watches like all the. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Like free?
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Okay, I
fair enough.
understand.
Yeah. So with our combined forces, we had all the genres counted out, and we actually did pretty well. So I was happy. But I digress quite a bit. So in other news, our special guest this time, Garth, is actually, in case you were not aware, he is the guy who works on the forums. He programs them, and he does like everything that involves anything with them. So a big round of applause to him. But I also hear you're working on a few other projects. Did you want to tell us about them?
Oh yeah, I've been working on an iPhone app called AO Creator, or Alpha Omega Creator, and what it does is it lets you send Pokemon to your 3DS Pokemon games, and I worked on that with the previous app to send it to DS Pokemon games, so now we've got an update for the 3DS ones.
Oh, that's interesting. How does it work? Like, can you just go on the app, and how do you send things to the new gen games?
Oh, you just fill out the details for your Pokemon, your species, your moves, and then it creates a QR code that you scan using your 3DS, and you have your Pokemon.
Oh wow, that's sweet. That's pretty cool. Well,
Yeah.
Pretty
neato.
technical.
Some awesome things coming around. See, this is the kind of mobile things that we can get at that help us out. This is for the hardcore people that don't just play Candy Crush. So, for the competitive scene. I like it.
Yo, but have you tried level 89, man? It's so difficult, so difficult.
Scott, have you seriously played level 89?
No. I don't even
No.
download it.
Damn, I was almost impressed.
Why would I ever download it?
I don't know, man. You're playing RuneScape, so God knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm not in a position to talk, am I?
Now I'm installing Java. What's wrong with me?
Well, in any case, I know last time we didn't get to go over a few questions that people had asked. I know one particular was the question is, what kind of fictional world would you choose to live in from anything? So, we have a few interesting ideas, I'm sure. First off, Garth, where would you want to go if you could?
Well, when you first asked that question, I thought Pokemon, but then another interesting thing popped into my head. One of the DS games that are very memorable to me is The World Ends With You, and I thought, wow, that would be certainly an interesting world to live in. I would just love that. But I would have to say that, yeah, Pokemon is probably the world that I would most enjoy living in. It's a very memorable game from my childhood, and I'd like to live out some of the fantasies of playing in the game. And the magic would just be there if you were experiencing it firsthand.
That's true. That would be really wonderful. And I have also played The World Ends With You. I don't know how many people here as well. And it's definitely quite the interesting world with all the things that you can affect, and like with the two different worlds and how you can affect one through the other. I think that would be really interesting as well. But slightly dangerous, I suppose. But still very interesting. That's a good choice. I like that. And then Scott, I heard you had an idea as well.
Honestly, I'm not really one to try and immerse myself in video game worlds, because I do kind of, a lot of video games I play are quite fantasy or sci-fi in a way, and so it's a little bit far-fetched.
Yeah.
And I kind of do like to maintain some amount of realism, and so therefore, kind of like TV shows. Lately, over the last month, I've been watching a lot of NBC Chuck, which, it's just kind of basically bases comedy on the CIA and NSA, which is really cool to try and, imagine yourself as the protag. Mm-hmm. But if I was to, say really what kind of like fictional world I'll be in, I'd say it's definitely Mad Men. Definitely.
That'd be a good one. I like that. I'd like that too. Like, I would say that, or House of Cards for me, for similar reasons. So, but
I'm surprised by no Civ 5. I would love to be a world leader.
we basically already live in that world. But
Yeah,
yeah.
true.
So another question that was asked, and this segues into an interesting thing we had for a final announcement for this podcast today, is someone asked if we could record a video, us playing a video game for the podcast, and we actually were thinking for the channel. Well, did you want to discuss this, Marissa?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I saw that comment, and I know Jasem saw that comment too, and I was kind of like, hey, that's an interesting idea. We all talk about video games, we all like video games, so I sort of tossed it out to in the Squadcast, and everybody was really for it, and so I think we'll definitely be doing things. We're just trying to get together, we're thinking of doing like some multiplayer, some multiplayer games, thinking of doing maybe some small group or solo stuff even, so definitely look forward to that. There'll be shorter videos, probably more on the 20-minute mark, so they'll be easier to consume. They'll be gameplay filled. I don't know, hopefully everybody will enjoy them. I'm excited for us to do some. And Zach is typing at me in the Skype convo about Mario Party. I don't know if... Did you guys get that to work?
Yeah, it's working.
Yep.
It'd be awesome.
Well, that'd be really cool. So there's basically, for people that don't know, there's a Mario Party, like a way basically to play Mario Party through the computer, through the internet. So it'd be cool if we could get that up and running and play some games of Mario Party 2. Because, I mean, obviously we don't have the ability to be in the same place with like the recording setup. So that'd be a nice way to do that. I don't know. I think it should be a lot of fun.
I agree. And yeah, there's talk for doing that. There's talk for doing more casual things like recorded games of like Cards Against whatever, or like
right, yeah.
And yeah, like she mentioned, we're thinking of doing solo projects as well. I personally am thinking of doing maybe Valkyria Chronicles, which is a strategy game. That's one of my personal favorites. Or perhaps for a more realistic and less exciting option, I'm thinking of playing through the Idolmaster SP, because everyone is interested in that, I'm certain.
Just put in the laugh track of the kids laughing when it's like, wow!
I'll just like put like full-on laughter at that bit. I will. You watched me last time.
Put in like some anime girl laugh.
I'll put in the yandere laugh. Yes. Okay. Anyway.
Or like Sasa Sega Wasla Sami's laugh.
Yeah.
Like, oh!
Can't believe you actually remember how to say her name correctly.
Sasa Sega Wasa Sami desu wa. Oh, and on a last topic, I guess this is just something for fun that I'm going to mention real quick, but the spring season's coming up, actually, for anime. It'll be airing pretty soon, and by the next time the podcast is recorded, it will have begun airing. I know there's a topic on the forums for this, but in regards for things that we'll be watching, I know I am going to be checking out Fate Season 2, because it's going to be the best. I'm also going to check out The Disappearance of Nagato Yuki, because other than the fact that I'm a slave to Haruhi, basically. My favorite character from the original show is a side character that no one cares about. She happens to be a major character in this spin-off, so it's like the best. So I'm excited for that. There's also going to be a Season 2 of Nisekoi that I'm going to watch, because I've already gotten this far. Why not? And I'm also going to watch Season 2 of Snafu, or Origairu, depending on which one you call it. Those are going to be what I'm going to try to keep up with. I thought it was a big list, at least for me, but there are people who have much bigger lists for me. Anyway, but yeah, anyone else have any thoughts? Other than Fate, because Fate is yes. Everyone's watching, right?
Yeah, I'm watching Fate for sure. I kind of want to watch the new Digimon, but I don't know if I will. It looks really cool.
It looks really cool. That's how you segue into that. Alright, fair enough.
And I was looking at the picture of all the things, and they said they're doing a remastered version of Yu-Gi-Oh! And for some reason, I'm really excited for that, even though I know I shouldn't be. But we'll see.
1080p.
I'm gonna watch that if it exists. Fate, obviously. I mean, we're all pretty connected by Fate. Stay Night. It was sort of 99% of us here together.
Hello.
And so that's going to be fantastic. Probably the best part of the best route, so that should be good. I'm just scrolling through here. Nisekoi, not decided about. Plastic Memories looks pretty good. I'm definitely going to watch Snafu Season 2 like Nick. I thought the first one was really good. And then I'm watching Assassination Classroom, so I'll be watching the second half of that, I guess. Which is...
I didn't know that was airing too. I'm excited because going to Otakon, I expect that there will be a lot of Fate Stay Night related things. Hopefully there will also be a lot of Fate Stay Night related cosplayers. Hopefully a certain character will take precedence. We'll see. Anyway...
if we don't see like 15 Tosaka Rins, I will actually be so surprised.
I'm gonna riot.
You're just gonna start crying, just in pure joy. Just so happy.
I'm so mad.
Man, get the proposal ring ready.
Oh my god. On the quest to find the best Tosaka Rin.
Oh, I'll do that anyway. Well, anywho, that about wraps up our podcast for today. Thanks everyone for listening. Yeah, we'll come to you next time around and have some more interesting topics to talk about, some fun things, and maybe the video game plans that we have will get fleshed out a bit as things go on. So, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you later.